we have any questions that come up or anything, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So this is our new look for the enrollment piece, and let me pull something up here real quick. And just to kind of give you some information, let me get it all pulled up here. Okay, right now, this is going to be the piece that we have ready as the enrollment piece, and it's got the record books incorporated in on it too. So you'll see that. We are hoping to have the rest of it, the event management, ready in about another 2 weeks,
Okay.
the event piece of it. We will be interested in having some states kind of look at it and try to work on it and see what they think about it. You know, once we get each piece done, the enrollment piece is what we have now, and this is what it's going to look like
Okay.
when you would sign into it. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through it. There's not a lot because you've already seen the record books, which is tied into it. And you'll see that when I show it here in just a second. And I just wanted you to see kind of what the login page was like. Okay, so when you log in, this is what will come up. So you pick out who is going to be, whose book you're going to be working on, or what account. So you can have a family account now. Okay, so you can have, and you'll see when I'm going to choose Bill. That's our primary, and we are having it set up so that if you have some split homes kind of thing, you can, both parents will have access. We do have to have a primary person, you know, and one of the parents would have to be primary, but we do have it set up so that in a split home we can do something. I'm going to move my camera a little bit. I know you're just getting a side look here of me. Not that you really want to see me, but, you know, kind of helps with it. Yeah. But this is what comes up. So this is where you can pick. And so like right now, we're under Bill Wilson, but if I want to change and look at a different one, I can change my user. So now I can go under Jennifer. So now if you notice over here, all the stuff is under Jennifer. If I wanted to go to Jesse, I can go ahead and change and move to Jesse, and now everything here is Jesse's stuff. So, you know, if you remember previously when we did our meeting, you had one person in the record book, and you could have multiple record books, and you can still have the multiple record books, but this is just kind of the way that would work. So now you have one login for a family. Okay. Which is going to make life a lot easier. Once again, you have a lot of the same features that we had in our record book. You have your latest updates, and we can actually go into record book here. And when we do that, okay, so, and you have to remember you're the first one I've gotten to show this to, so I might meddle through a few little things. So just be patient with me if I do. So because you're my number one on this.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, I know what it was. I've got to go back. The only one we've set anything under is Bill. That's what I got to do. So let me change back to Bill because that's where everything is. Okay. Yeah, that changes. So we'll just kind of go through and look. So once again, it shows household members under this one, the Wilson household. Here's where you can add more members. You can import ZenBooks accounts. So like we already have people who set up with record books, they'll be able to import their stuff in so they don't lose anything. You know, and this would be our edit button where they can go in and edit different things like we've had in the other stuff. So that kind of makes it easy. And it looks good. You know, it's a neat look to it as well. Then this is the enrollments. This is what we were just at a while ago. You can see Jesse is inactive, and Jennifer is active, and then Bill. And you can update enrollment history. So those are all pieces that can be controlled. They can control themselves. Don't have to go back into you guys to do. So we have the enrollment history here so they can change things. So if they move, emergency contacts change, it's easy to do. You can your waivers here. So I have to keep moving our pictures. So now here's a waiver for them to sign to agree to the different things like they need to do for their 4-H activities.
Okay.
County releases. You can, once again, we can customize things and make things switch around. It's that's very much like we were with ZBooks. We will customize anything that we need to. We'll figure out, if there's something that you need that you don't see, we'll work on that too.
Okay.
Okay, so here's your club. So this is where you can choose a club or add a club. We have them already kind of set up in there, but you can add a club. And so you could be involved in maybe more than one club. I know we have a lot of times we'll have kids that are involved in more than one.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that ability. So we want to go back to previous, and then we'll come back here to, I think that was where we were. We are, all right. So then we go into our record books. So here's our record books just like before. You add your record books, you come in, you put your name, you pick your club again, primary category. We don't have everything in there, because this is just the rolling out for demo purposes at this point. And then you pick your record book type and you hit save. And you see I kind of played with one just a little bit today. So you do the same things that you did on our record book. You click it, and then you notice everything underneath the record book now changes. You've got all of the different, you have all the different project details, cover, photo, goals, everything just like our record book did in that demo. So, and then and just to kind of show you a little bit more of things that will be coming with it. Does it show it? Okay, now let me go back. Let me get out of here. Let me go back to our dashboard. To Bill Wilson. Okay, so when we go back to here, it will show upcoming events. You could put things here. And we don't have all these pieces ready. You can register for an event. So if you have something that you want to do, you'll be able to register right from here. And like I said, we don't have all these pieces are up and going, but I just kind of want you to see where they're at. Mm-hmm. That's events. That came up earlier. Okay, so here we have courses. So if somebody wants to take a course, they can go in. We'll have them listed there. They'll be, here's the courses. There'll be a catalog showing all the different courses they can take. They can click on continue, and they can actually start taking a course. So, if they've got a volunteer that needs to do their volunteer training, it'll be on there. If there's a robotics course a kid wants to do, they can do. If they want to take a virtual field trip, they can take a virtual field trip. And, so that's just another piece of it of what's coming. And those are not all ready. They will be ready, like I said, we're hoping within 2 weeks to have it ready to go on the demo purposes. And when we make sure we've got it good, we'll be letting people look at it. So tell me, since you're my first one to see this, tell me what your thoughts are on it.
Okay, so it looks like it has a lot of the pieces that we're looking for.
Okay.
I know with like the Clover Academy, we have volunteer trainings that we need to take, and we also have horsemanship.
Right.
And there's another class that our extension already did. Is there a way for us to upload custom courses in that only our state can see?
I will say I feel quite certain that we can do that. I will ask our programmers to make sure, and I'm making a note right there. I feel like that question had been asked to me before, and I recall that the answer was yes, they would be able to upload their own courses, but I will verify that and get an answer to you. And I think that may have actually come from you last time that we talked. And you have a volunteer course. And a horseman. Okay, and you said it does have the pieces you're looking for.
The record books.
Mm-hmm.
Does that still include the unlimited number of record books per user?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, it definitely does that.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't change anything in our record book except just the format of it moving over into this so that you would have the enrollment where you would have the whole family enrollment and type things. We've just kind of moved it. We're going to be just moving it over into this format.
Okay. The enrollments. I know you said
Yes.
that people are in different clubs, multiple clubs, have multiple projects. How about going across multiple counties?
Yes. Because you have kids in more than one county that they kind of go from county to county. Okay.
Yes, I actually have a couple. Typically, it's only 2 counties, but I do have a couple that are 3 counties.
So can kids be in multiple counties?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to get that answer for you when I do these other ones to make sure. Let's look at it and see if we can kind of figure that out. Let's play with that and see. I mean, if not, I mean, I'm sure you will not be the only one with that question. Okay. So, and if not, then that's something they need to think about and consider and get it put in there.
Okay.
So I know that's something that they will work on regardless of what the answer is. If it's a no, then I'm sure that is something that they will build into because, like I said, I'm sure you're not the only one with that question.
Okay.
That's what we find out. That's what I tell people all the time. You know, if you've got it, somebody else probably does too.
Okay.
Okay. You said it has most pieces. What else are you guys looking for?
Is there a way to send out email marketing?
Yes. Where did I see that? So you want to be able to send out an email to all of your
It may
members?
be more on like the administrative side.
That's what I'm thinking.
Where we can go in and send out broadcast emails. We can set up email lists based on the projects that they're in, the counties that they're in. One of the things we'd like to do to kind of improve our marketing is when they enroll, they can check on what they're interested in.
Okay.
And we can use that to build an email list to send out targeted marketing to them about upcoming events, whether it's at their county level or at the state level.
Right. That's a great idea. I mean, that's a really good one.
And quite honestly, we would like to have something that gives us some analytics, kind of similar to what you might see in Constant Contact or MailChimp, that lets us know who's reading our emails, who's not. Is there a better time to send them?
Okay, check on this so they can get particular emails. And analytics, is that what you said?
Yes.
For the emails.
Yes, or even if there is a way that we can integrate this into, say, Constant Contact. If there's an API that we can use to communicate between the two, that would be great.
Okay. All right. Those are all things that we'll find out more about. What else? What else did you see that? Oh, let me just show you this. You see this add 3 up here? Those are things that we're going to offer for you all to have your kids sell ads if you want to do that. And what it will do is it'll be, you see how it's scrolling through? And the fee on that, what we are going to do is we're going to split the fee in half with you all so that you can do it county, state, or national level. So let's just say, and I'm going to use our county, for example, here because Hardy County, I've got 3 businesses that are big supporters of all of our kids. We're small. We have 2 feed stores, and so both feed stores have bought ads, and one of our fruit buyers here in town has bought an ad because they do a lot with our citrus trees and they buy a lot of animals. So they've each bought ads. Half of them, each one of their fee for the year, half of that money comes back to help pay for our stuff, but the other half is going back into our local 4-H here in Hardy County.
Okay.
So that kind of helps with raise money. And then if you do a state level, if you have a state sponsor, let's say Farm Credit, I know that's big pretty much everywhere. Farm Credit wanted to do a state level, then half the money would go into your state fund, and then the other half we would get. And then if it's a national, the same pretense, it will go half here and then half that way. But and I mean, if you all choose you don't want to do that, that is your option, of course. But it's something just to try to get some more income in for you guys, because we know 4-H is so highly paid, and they pour so much money into you guys. That was a little bit of a joke there. But no, we know that money is tight with the 4-H and your grant positions and things. So we were trying to come up with some ways to increase some revenue to support, where you could do this project, if the money is too much, which we feel like we're very reasonable, but we want to have it set up to try to help you guys out as much as we can.
Okay. The health forms and the waivers, that can all be customized, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Definitely.
So if we just send you the forms, you'd be able to mimic them onto.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going through all my questions that I have here.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And I'm not really going to ask too much about events since you're still kind of working on that.
Right. Yes. And I will put you down that when we get that done, we'll contact you and we'll get it in there. We'll put you're my first one on this. You might be my first one on the events too.
That would be exciting.
I have another one this afternoon. And I haven't contacted my other groups yet because I want to make sure. I was trying to wait till we got it all together, but when you sent me that yesterday, I sure didn't want you to think we were putting you off by any means.
No, it's absolutely fine. Is there a way when we do enrollments that we can do the enrollment fee?
Yes, definitely. There will be a way. There is a way to do the enrollment fee. Let's see, let's go into our enrollment. So if you were going to do an enrollment here, you would have a place that you can do the payment right there.
Okay. And what payment methods do you accept?
We would not be able to do cash, obviously.
Yeah.
But we have it set up. We use, I think it's called Stripe. So it's a credit card. They would just do their credit card information, and I know all 4-H's. I mean, some places charge $3, some charge $20. So it would just go that direction. It would go with that credit card company. We do not keep any information. That's what the Stripe is. So we do it that way so that we do not have any financial information whatsoever.
Okay.
And we, as I've told you before, we deal with military stuff, so we have very high security on everything that we do. But if there's something your college would require us to make sure that we do, and a certificate that we hold or something like that, you just let us know. If it's something that we need to set through your system, we'll work with you on however you want us to do that.
Okay. Now, we do have some enrollments where the club may pay part of it, the county may pay part of it, and then the parent only has to pay a small portion, or may not have to pay anything at all. Do we have a way to set that up in the back end?
Yes, we can split payments.
Excellent.
That was one of the things we knew was an issue, and we can also do that on events. We're going to do the same thing. We'll have the way to make the payment on the events too, and once again, we know a lot of times it's the same thing. State will pay a portion, club will pay a portion, and the parents, and we'll be able to make the split payments on that.
Okay. Now, just as something for events, just something to think about,
okay,
is when we have people enroll for events, we typically make them fill out the medical form and like the photo release, media release stuff. Is there a way to tie like their event registration back to what they've already signed to where we can just have them click and say no changes?
Let me think through that. So if you go into...
Because, I mean, we already make them sign the waiver when they enroll.
Okay, so, and the only way they'll be able to use the system is if they're enrolled.
Okay.
Okay, so, I mean, they won't be able to register through us if they're not a member already.
So if they're
You know what I'm
inactive,
saying?
they won't be able to register.
Not through us
Yes.
that I'm aware of. I mean, I don't know how that would work because you have to have an account to come in and register through this way.
Okay.
Now, if you have a separate registration for them, you know, that's up to you on that end. But if they're a 4-H member, this is just for people who are members of our Z Suites, which is what you've done. They'll go in, so their waiver and health form will already be there. But if we need to put something at the bottom of the event, please, no changes on medical health form. When they do their let me go back. So I'm kind of thinking, so I mean, I'm just doing my thought process here.
No, that's fine.
If we come, let me go back to the dashboard. So if we come down here and we do the register now, which I don't, oh, it is going to let me register. Okay, so choose the members. Okay, here we go. And on checkout, okay, so here we go. There's your credit card stuff. Okay, so on checkout, maybe we can have a spot here with just a checkbox or something, a simple checkbox that says health record is up to date.
Okay.
Or maybe if health record is not up to date, please go back and change, or please go back and update. Put a check mark. Maybe I'm just talking. Okay,
That's
2
fine.
check boxes. Put 1 check box. Need to update medical history, or medical history is up to date. They click whichever one, and then you know that kind of gives you an idea.
Okay.
I'll let the brains figure that out, how to do that and where to put it, but let me write that in my note. But you see here for the youth member fee, so this tells you here with our credit card stuff.
Okay.
And here you would choose who would be attending this in your family. So, you know, Jennifer Wilson or just, let's just kind of look at that. Okay. So I'm going to ask them about this, because if you choose 2 members, it didn't change the price, did it?
Yeah, and the other thing too is Jesse is listed as inactive.
That's probably why it didn't let me go ahead and do that. But I'm going to make a note of that, because that's one of those things that we need to look at.
I mean, even if there's a way that, I mean, you still list the members, but then beside Jesse put inactive.
Yeah, but you have to remember, too, we're looking at something that's not ready yet.
Yeah.
So that may be something they're already going to address, because they said it is not ready. So,
Okay.
but it, we'll make sure that that falls in there. But the thing we want them to think about, and that's what you were saying on the events, you want them to think about was a place to mark health record is up to date.
Mm-hmm. And the media release form. Just saying that yes, you give permission, or no, you don't.
And the media release is on the waiver,
Mm-hmm.
but media release is up to date. Okay. Those are really good ideas. Those are really good thoughts. You know, that's something then we'll pull that into. But like I said, on these kind of things, we don't have event ready, so that may be what that is about. But it just kind of answers some of your questions about the payment and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
So
anything else?
Looking at the dashboard, you have announcements.
Mm-hmm.
How are those put in there?
This would be on the administrative side. An administrator would have to put the announcement. It's kind of like what we had previously in our record book that you had seen with a county leader. It depends on, it'll follow the same format. So a county leader would be able to put an announcement. It would only go to, well, let's go club leaders first. A club leader would be able to put an announcement. It will only go to her club members. Okay, so let's say Jennifer puts it in. It will only go to Jennifer's members. Let's say Marissa puts one in and she's our county agent, it'll go to everybody in her county. Okay? Let's say you do one as a state admin, it'll go to everybody in the state. So it's kind of tiered.
Excellent.
So the kids will not be able to put announcements, things like that. I know I've had some states, I actually have one state that we're doing a pilot with our record books in, they don't even want their club leaders to do announcements. They only want their county to do. They don't even want their club leaders to have access to anything. They just want the county admins and then, of course, their kids with the record books. They don't even want their club leaders having any of that aspect. So guess what? They don't have it.
Okay, so that's all customizable.
Right. Yes.
Okay. And same way, like when you scrolled down, you had photos with little blurbs. That was all events, correct?
Yeah, that's upcoming events. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. That's just to show you. So, and there would be an arrow here if there's more, and then they could go in here to just do their registration.
Excellent. Okay.
So that's kind of what it's going to look like, a little blurb about what the event is, and then it'll go from there.
Okay, and that'll be set up the same way. So if the county puts it out, it'll go to their county. If I do it as the state, it'll go out to everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it'll still be tiered like that.
Okay. I think that's a pretty good dashboard for our members to look at. It's very intuitive. It's very user-friendly from what I can tell.
Good.
Do they have a way to, when they sign in, to reset password?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Hang on.
I'm just trying to think of things that I have issues with.
No, you're fine. So if you come into, let's just go back and look at, let's change our user and let's go back to Jennifer, and we need to, let's see how we're going to do this. Jennifer here. We're going to edit info. Okay, that would be there. And I did see it earlier. I just have to find where, like I said, this is good because this lets us both see. That's not it. Let me go back to, and I remember seeing it at some point. I think I know maybe where it was. Let me change my user. I think I remember where it was now, which makes sense. I think I have to be under, once again, because I don't have real accounts on them. Let me see if I can add it since I really have him. Okay. Oh, and you can change your avatar too, by the way.
Can we have it set up to actually load real photos?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually think that is an option. I know it's an option, but yeah, upload your own.
Okay. Because we were thinking in terms of with the media release waivers, if we know somebody is a no photo, then we at least know what they look like. And can add their photo to the file for our media people so they know not to include them in the photos.
Right. Okay. Okay, I will have to play with that. I know there's a place to do that.
Okay.
And if there's not, there needs to be a place.
Is there a way whenever you set up a new family or a new club member for it to scan the system and make sure we're not duplicating people.
Let me ask that question.
I don't know if it's a case of if there are certain points that match up, then it'll trigger a "are you sure you're not this person" type message.
Okay. And I'm guessing at this point it would be used like because not everybody has email addresses. No, that didn't do what I was trying. I was trying something else. Okay, so I have a question on that. I'll ask that question as well.
Is there a way that there will be a report on the back side that we can do our ES-237 reporting with?
I know that we work closely about the ES-237, so I'm going to feel quite certain in saying yes.
Okay. Our educators use Salesforce. Is there any way that we can integrate some of the information that's in Z Suite with Salesforce?
Okay, what is the one you're saying they use?
Salesforce.
Spell that for me.
SALEFORCE.
Salesforce.
It's really just a way for us to track touches that our educators have. Their community involvement, things like that.
Okay. I don't know. I know at one point we were talking about making it where they actually had a place to enter that information through here.
Okay. That's an option too.
Okay. So let me, because I know that was something that we had discussed, and I don't have a leader account yet. I'll just make a note of that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's an option too, because right now our educators haven't been moved over to Salesforce.
Okay.
But we need to find a way to track what they're doing.
And that's good because I think we'll probably have something like that. If not, I think we can customize and make something like that. And I would think with our volunteer training piece, that would be part of it.
Okay.
In the events kind of thing. So I will verify that as well.
Okay.
Now, your questions that you have, and I've written them down, do you have them? Are they on the computer or are they handwritten?
They're handwritten, but I can send them to you.
Please send them to me again, just so I can make sure that I've gotten everything. I don't want to have skipped anything, and even if I've already answered it, I can go back and answer it. I'll send it back to you with answers on it just to make sure. I just, like I said, I don't want to leave anything out.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
And if I think of anything else,
yes, please,
I'll add it to the list. The big question is, what does the pricing look like for this?
I will have to talk with him on the pricing, but at this time, let me move things around. I think our pricing is remaining the same, even though if it's just the record books or
oh, it does say this includes enrollment, club management,
event, record books.
Okay.
And training courses. So it should have the same pricing tier.
Okay.
For everything.
That is very helpful.
Yes. And I'll verify that again because this was done before we had the product completed, but I know my boss and I know what he says is what he says. So being that it's there, he would honor that.
Okay.
You know, he's very diligent about that kind of thing.
Okay, wonderful.
So, anything else?
I can't think of anything right now. But I'm sure I will have some other questions.
And that's fine. And that helps me learn it even better too, and that helps our brain juices just to keep going and make, just like some of the things you've mentioned are things I'm going to make sure that they have thought of for the events and for the volunteers and things like that. So those are, it's very helpful to us as well.
Okay, wonderful.
So please, anything you come up with, just let us know.
Okay, that would be great. Do you have, I know you said that you've just kind of finished this piece.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anybody that is already testing it that we could talk to?
I do not. You are the very first person I have shown it to.
Okay.
I'm showing it to Alaska this afternoon at 1 o'clock. But you are the very first person to see it.
Okay.
Outside. We've had a few people as far as that we've worked with from a state, actually more of a national level, that have kind of given us input. But as far as, I don't think any of them have actually seen what we're doing either. They've just kind of told us some things that would be beneficial and good and helpful. But as far as anybody working it and using it, no.
Okay.
No, you're our first go around with it. And if it's something that you're interested in possibly doing some trial stuff with just to see, we'll keep that in mind and talk to you as we get ready to do that.
Okay. Oh, one other question.
Okay.
The information we have in our current database, we don't want to lose that.
Right.
Is there any way, if we are able to export that out of there, that we could import it into this system?
I do believe there is.
Okay.
I do believe that there is, but I will verify that.
And I kind of would just need to know what kind of format that would need to be in.
Right. 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 So I do believe, because I think I've heard that in discussion, but I will once again verify. So when I answer the questions to you, when we get that, I'll have gotten verified answers.
Okay.
From the ones who created.
No, that's absolutely fine. Okay. I think that's all I have.
You think that's it? Okay,
yep.
Well, very good. I'm super excited, Stephanie, and thank you for bearing with me and letting me show it to you. I think it's a really cool product. I think everybody's going to be very happy with it, and I love the look of it because I think it's very user-friendly and very easy. Because this is what my boss and I were talking about today. He says, I'm like, I really need to get my hands on and play with it, and he said, Shannon, we've written it for kids. We've written it for kids to be able to use it.
That's
and he
wonderful.
said, you're going to be fine using it. And that was their theory, and that's why they've set it up like they've set it up, is because they want it for kids to be able to go in and do this. So we've made it as easy as possible.
Wonderful.
So anyway, all right. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, and I'll look forward to getting those questions from you and getting to work on them.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.